Outdoor Scholars TV presents the Outdoor Scholars Program, educating the next generation on work ethic and conservation to protect our outdoor heritage. Outdoor Scholars TV is brought to you by Alabama Black Belt Adventures, Alabama Power, Fuji, The Management Advantage, Toit, Turtle Box.
This week on Outdoor Scholars TV, we start out near campus with our Outdoor Scholars bow shoot.
There's a lot of competition in the Outdoor Scholars program. We had competition to everything. So William had the great idea of us to go out to his house, sight in our bows, as well as just have fun and get together and see who the best shot was.
On the line for the winner was a prize pack from Silver Banded Retrievers. For the guys division, Garrett was actually the winner, and to win the event, he had to pull out a bullseye in the bonus round to beat William, and that's what he did. And for the girls' side, Ashley Hawk, she just dominated the whole time, and it was a great time for us to get out the bows and shoot and sight in to get ready for the season.
I really don't understand how Garrett can be the best shot at the bow shoot, but when you get a gun in his hands, can't hit the broadside of a barn. Props to Garrett Devers for being the best shot in the program.
Here we are again, one of my favorite times of the year, our trip to Venice, Louisiana. Got 4 students, just got out of class, we're hitting the road and heading south. Once we got to camp, got unloaded and kind of settled in, I took a minute to describe the type of fishing that we were going to be doing, the different techniques that were going to be taking place, and some of the places that we had had a lot of luck in the past. It's a chance to educate these students who've never redfished before what to look for in the mornings to come.
So we wake up the next morning, alarms are going off everywhere, everybody's excited, getting ready to fish. And I go in the kitchen and smell bacon and eggs cooked. I'm thinking, oh, this is gonna be great. William's cooked breakfast for us. No, he cooked himself breakfast. He said for us to fend for ourselves. So I decided I'd step up and cook breakfast for everybody. Started cooking the eggs and everything. Everybody started getting up.
Everybody was up except for one, Luke. We had to do everything we could to get him out of bed to go fish.
So we're like, Luke, get up. What are you doing? We're about to go fishing all day. Like, you need to get up. So finally, we drag him out of bed, pull him off the top bunk, and get in the car and head to the marina.
We get out at the marina, people are everywhere, getting ready to go out. The excitement's running high. And what do I see? CJ's over here shivering to death and we ain't even got on the boat yet. He forgot to check the weather. He said it was 70 degrees in Montevallo when we left. So what more does he need than a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt? He's gonna freeze to death.
It was about a 20-minute run down the main river, Mississippi River, and it was pretty cold. We finally pulled up to a spot. He said, we're gonna get bit right here first cast. So we're like, heck yeah. Of course, we want to catch the biggest fish. That's what we're going after is bull reds. So me and Joe were like, we're gonna catch 2 right here, right off the bat. So we pull up, cast our shrimp right on the grass point. First cast, I hook up with one. I'm like, heck yeah, Porter's got the camera rolling. And then Judd doubles up right after me with a big one. We get both those in, and we were like, heck yeah, we started the day off right.
Adam and Judd were catching the big bull reds. They were catching them one after another. Really big fish, putting up a lot of fight. Even one fish was so big it almost ran all the line out of Adam's reel, but he managed to reel him in.
After we caught our fish, it was about maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was time to come back in. We loaded up the boat and drove back to where our cabin were actually. Everybody took their fish off the boat and took them over to the dock, and all the guys started cleaning the fish for us and everything, so it was really nice. We didn't have to do any of the work.
We brought our Kaisit cooler, courtesy of Management Advantage. Luckily, we caught enough fish. Not only did we fill our cooler, but we had enough for dinner too. That's the biggest thing when we go on our trips, is to cook and eat what we harvest. We're excited, we've cleaned all our fish, we're ready to get that grease hot and ready to drop the fish in. One of the biggest things that I like to teach our students when we're out in camp is how to cook and how to prepare. I like to eat, just like these kids do. So we're teaching them how to grill redfish, how to fry some of the fish that we've caught up. Believe it or not, some of them don't even know how to turn the stove on. So it's always an experience in the kitchen. But nonetheless, we had a great meal with a fresh catch that we had that day in Venice, Louisiana.
On this episode of Outdoor Scholars TV, we're headed down to Shopton, Alabama with Pitts Media on a late season deer hunt. Not only are we getting to hunt on this trip, they're going to share some tips and their knowledge to help better our TV show.
We're always excited to share camp with Pitts Media, Phil and RJ. There's going to be a lot of laughs. We have Libby and Tracy with us this week. Both of these ladies are fairly new to deer hunting, so who knows what may happen.
It's beneficial for the Outdoor Scholars Program to have sponsors like Pitts Media to give us camera tips and advice with the cameras, because if it wasn't for them, we would not be able to advance ourselves with our cameras and for our TV show to be able to shoot it on our own and not always have assistance in it.
Good morning. It's our first day out here on Pitts Media Farm. It's about 62 degrees out here. It seems like the rain's coming in a little bit faster than we planned on, so hopefully we can see something before it drenches us completely.
After the morning hunt, we headed back to camp, and some of the guys from Pitts Media was headed back as well. When we got back, we showed them some footage, and they gave us tips on how we could get better. During all that time, they talked about these trout that they had in their pond, so we loaded up in the side-by-sides and we went down there, and I think Tracy had a pretty good time.
This is my first anything besides a bass or a crappie or anything. My first rainbow trout. Looks really pretty. Thank y'all, Pitts Media, for letting us hunt and fish here at the pond.
All right, good one. Nice fish. That's for dinner.
As they were interviewing me, I was sitting there talking about how it's my first rainbow trout I'd ever caught, besides a brim, besides anything. As I was talking, the fish jumped out of my hands and pretty much embarrassed me on camera. But it was a fun afternoon with Pitts Media out there fishing and shooting this.
Tracy was able to hook up with her first trout. Although she really enjoyed catching it, I don't think she liked holding it too much. While we're fishing and catching a lot of fish, William goes missing. Next thing we know, we look out in the pond and he's 10 foot off the bank in the water with his waders on, fishing as well. And the next thing we know, the fish feeder's going off and he's getting peppered by the fish food.
Have you had any more nibbles?
Yeah, I missed 2 right here.
Did you? We have to give William a pretty good advantage over the fish. So we're just going to surround him by feed. If you can't catch one like that, William, you just need to quit.
Everyone knows the favorite part of a hunt is being at deer camp. Being inside the lodge, shooting the breeze, and playing tricks on each other. This is no different with Libby and Tracy in camp. So, Grant and myself, we rigged up something. We found out that Tracy was afraid of mice, and man, did we get her.
So we tied a fake mouse to this string, and while Tracy wasn't paying attention, we ran it across her feet and she went absolutely berserk.
Well, day one's over. This morning was nice. I went out with Grant this morning. We didn't see nothing but an otter, but that's okay. Came back.
Oh my God, there's a rat right there.
Stop! I'm so dumb. I looked down and I didn't see nothing.
Hey, I'm Libby Ziegler with the Outdoor Scholars Program. We're out here hunting with Pitts Media at their farm. Right now I'm sat
not too good right now. It's rainy, but we're hoping it'll hold off till about later on this afternoon, and hopefully we'll get one by then.
After an uneventful hunt that morning, we come back to camp to get a little grub, but we can't wait to get back out.
Right now, I have 3 deer in the middle of my field. I have 2 in the right corner that seem to be does, but I have 1 up here closer to our shooting house that is a spike. I'm hoping he can look right the does in a little bit closer to me, so I can get a shot on him so we can get some meat in the freezer.
I had my AR with me, put my scope on them, trying to get a good shot. They were too far. My dot and my scope took up the whole body of the doe. There's no chance for me to shoot. If I did, I have no clue what I was even shooting at.
We had a couple does at about 100 yards. They were moving in, but they were just too far. What she needed was a doe to walk in to range about 30 to 40 yards. So we had to sit back and just watch these deer feed out of the field.
We had a great trip down in Stockton, Alabama with Pitts Media. It's our 2nd year going on this trip, and we always have fun and look forward to going down with these guys, not only hunt and fish, but also to get tips to help our Outdoor Scholars TV.
You know, this trip with Pitts Media was a great hunt. It was a great time in camp. We weren't able to harvest any animals, but we did see quite a few deer. Again, it was a learning experience. The food was great, the jokes were funnier, and just being around with these guys was a trip of a lifetime.
So this week on Outdoor Scholars TV, the UM bass fishing team heads down to Lake Eufaula to fish the Bass Nation State Championship.
You know, as students get ready for a college fishing tournament, there's a lot of things that take place. Every student has their own chain of things that they run through to make sure that everything's working for the next morning. Because without a boat, you don't have an opportunity to fish. So once the boat's taken care of, the batteries are charged, now it's time to look at our tackle, making sure our rods have what they need on there for the next day, knowing what the fish have been biting through practice, knowing what they hadn't, making sure they have that extra rod on hand so they're not wasting time. Every second is valuable in these fishing tournaments. A cast miss could be a fish miss, so they have to be fully prepared. Everything has to come into play for them to be successful.
Growing up, going down to Lake Eufaula, all through middle school and high school fishing tournaments, you know, I had high expectations coming into this tournament, the way it was setting up with the time of year.
Most of the fish were shallow, so we fish grass. So it's definitely a good grass fishery, but it's also got fish that get offshore. So we had a good showing over there. We had 3 teams in the top 10. We had a team in 4th, 6th, and 10th, and we also had a team in 11th, so we had a good showing over there.
You know, when we saw on our schedule that Lake Eufaula was on our tournament trail, we were very excited. Most of our students have grown up fishing down in that fishery, and man, did they show out while they were at Lake Eufaula. So now that we finished up, we're heading over to Sam Rayburn out in Texas for the Texas Lunker Challenge.
After a great finish at Lake Eufaula, the team heads back to Sam Rayburn for the Texas Lunker Challenge.
The University of Montevallo's fishing team is a big component of the Outdoor Scholars program. Even though not every student is involved in the fishing team, it's still an important aspect. It's an opportunity for us to allow these students to continue their fishing careers. It also allows us the opportunity to teach them what takes place in the competitive fishing world. Some of our students would love to be a competitive and professional angler. There's more to it than just fishing. There's a business side. So that's what we try to do. We take the business side of competitive fishing and tie it in so our students can learn firsthand what takes place and how to be successful.
So our road trip out to Sam Rayburn started about 7 o'clock at night. We ended up getting there at about 3 or 4 in the morning. And then we turned around and got back up about 2 hours later and went on the lake. So we had a long start to our trip, but it was fun. We always have fun when we travel.
With Sam Rayburn being such a big lake as it is, we figured it would just be best for us to pick one big creek and stay in there and practice for the whole event. So that's what we did. We picked a big creek way up the river and spent our whole practice in there, and that's where we spent our whole tournament because we felt it would be better for us just to focus on one area than trying to learn a whole big lake like that in just one short week of time.
The fishing was actually really good when we got out there, and it's always cool going to a new lake, seeing new things that you had never seen before. That's one of my favorite things about college fishing. I get tired of fishing the same lake all the time. I love being able to travel and figure out fish on new lakes and learn new ways to fish. It's awesome. There's nothing like it.
All right, we're gonna go a little mid-morning update. It's about 9:30, and so far the bite's been pretty easy so far, except we just hadn't caught much size. We caught 7 fish so far, and about 4 of them been keepers. We got one good one, but a lot easier to get bit here than it was in Toledo Bend. But I think we got a little pattern working. Fish seem like they're staging outside of these pockets. We ain't got bit in a pocket yet, but we've been in 4 pockets. Everybody we've got has been in the outside pocket. So we're gonna keep grinding, see what we find. Y'all stay tuned.
So ever since I was a little kid, I've always heard about the trap bite at Sam Rayburn. There's traps named Rayburn Red. It's a famous color. It's like the most popular color ever made. So obviously we stocked up on some Rayburn Red one knockers and went out there and chunked them around and lucked up and caught a big one.
So finishing up the Sam Rayburn tournament, I had about a 3.5 pounder that got me in about 46th place, and Justin was really lucky to come across a big one that landed him in 2nd place and really got us a lot of School of the Year points.
I really thought I had a shot to win because we led the tournament right there until the end, and there was about 10 people left, and a guy from Tennessee Tech weighed in a 961, and that bumped us out. But I mean, catching an 861, that's what my fish weighed. I caught an 861. You can't complain with that. You can't complain with a 2nd place finish, especially in a big bass tournament, because you don't ever know when you're going to get that big bite. But we had a great time out at Sam Rayburn. We're looking forward to going back.
2nd place, Justin Barnes, University of Montevallo, with an 864. There you go, brother. I appreciate you fishing with us.
The biggest thing to take away from Sam Rayburn is stay constant in what you're doing. Don't give up, because at any point in time you could catch that big fish that could win you a tournament. Again, these are big fish out there. Caught a lot of fish between 6 and 8 pounds. It was a great time to fish out in Texas, and boy were we sad to head back to Alabama.
This week's episode closes out tagging along with Alabama Power as we put out artificial structure in a nearby fishery.
Alabama Power is one of our top sponsors of the Outdoor Scholars Program. They believe in what we're doing with our young people and teaching conservation efforts, and that's what Alabama Power is all about giving back and about making things better in the environment and making things better for our habitat and natural resources.
Conservation that Alabama Power puts into our local lakes is extremely important. Our fisheries probably wouldn't be near as good as they are if Alabama Power didn't maintain them like they did. I feel like they really keep up with our lakes and really maintain them to be the good fisheries that they are.
The purpose of this habitat restoration project, putting out the artificial structures for the bass and the brim, it gives the fish somewhere to feed. These small bait fish are coming in feeding off algae that are growing on these structures. Then the big fish are coming in and eating the bait fish. So it's a full cycle. You know, we're doing everything we can to help make the fisheries around in our area a better place to fish and to make them just better all the way around.
Alabama Power plays a key role in the conservation and the fisheries that surround Montevallo, whether it's the current that comes through the dams or the structure that they put out throughout the year, they really are the reason for such great fisheries around Montevallo.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Outdoor Scholars TV. Make sure you tune in next week as we head down to Shopton, Alabama with Pitts Media for a deer hunt.
Outdoor Scholars TV presents the Outdoor Scholars Program. Educating the next generation on work ethic and conservation to protect our outdoor heritage. Outdoor Scholars TV is brought to you by Alabama Power, Alabama Black Belt Adventures, The Management Advantage, Walter Craig, the Sportsman's Headquarters, the Wildlife Group. If you would like to become a sponsor for the show, please reach out to Steve Long. If you would like to apply to the Outdoor Scholars Program, be sure to apply online at outdoorscholars.montevallo.edu.